Hello everybody, welcome to the CreatorSpace Online. We're here with our Blender 3D animation tutorial part 3 of a total of 5. And so this is our third session, so it's 1 hour. And then after, if you haven't signed up, we have our meeting room where you can discuss your projects and showcase what's going on there. 1 second here, I just got extra audio playing. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so welcome everyone. Thanks again. So this is the CreatorSpace project. Just want to thank all our partners before we get into this. Canada Council for the Arts. We have our library partners, Blue Mountains Public Library, Collingwood Public Library, and the Wasaga Beach Public Library. Today we will continue on our exploration of the Blender software and creating a small project, so a small animation that the idea is that then you can use these tools to create your own as you follow along in these 5 parts. And we're creating like a short social media type animation that you can use, for and adapt to other characters as well. So we're really pleased to have Leon with us to take us on this next chapter. So let's continue here. I'm going to pass it over to Leon, and here we go. Here's Leon.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tom. Welcome back to our next session for our class workshops, continuations of creating the Easter Bunny. As you can see in the screen right now, I have the last workshop. We are doing the sculpting of the bunny. Now, what we want to do is we want to make a lower poly polygons to wrap around the sculpt, so you don't, because the way the sculpt use is ignore triangle count. So it's basically just keep adding like mesh, it's keep adding like vertices, and to the point that yes, you can get a very detailed model, but the amount of time for you to render that model, that will be insane. So it's not very recommended for you to use the sculpting model for your animation. So in order to do that, you need to re-topologizing the sculpting model into a much more manageable triangle count or a poly count. Okay, so as you can see, I already starting to create the low poly here, and the same thing here. If you can see it here, and it's only half size, half the side, because I'm using the modifiers here on the side. Let's see. Let me. Sorry, just gonna start the shortcut. Yeah, okay. So on the right side of your property panel, the modifier panel, there you can see I have mirror, shrink map, and subdivisions. That's to have all that, and I'll go through that today. So I will try to make, like, I'm gonna try to re-topology the body and do like the technique or the system that I normally do in order to retopology the sculpting model that I use. Again, this is not something that you have to absolutely follow. Like, I mean, it's just one way of one workflow that you can use. This is my workflow, and hopefully that will help you to complete your workflow as well, or adding it to your way of doing things. So that's the goal of this. So okay, anyway, so this is the sculpting that I did the last time, right? So let's focus in this object here, the body. If you click on the the slash, but shortcuts, it will focus on the objects that you selected. So that the shortcut key is the slash, the right slash on beside the shift button there and your keyboard. So that's this is we can focus on that. So next thing I want to do is I want to go to my scene collection on the right side. If you can see, there's a disable selection here. If you can't find it, you go to the top here on the very top, and then you can just click on in this selection here to turn it on. So I like to disable it, so I won't be able to select it at all because I just want to use this as a reference. And next thing I want to do is to go to front view, and again I want to make a cube, right? And I will bring this cube to the bottom here. Let's see. And then I'm going to put it where it needs to be laid out. So roughly around here. Right now, what I'm going to do is, just to start, is I'm going to separate the modeling into 3 different pieces of cube or object. So I'm going to have the body, and then I'm going to have the arms here, and then the legs separately designed. And then I will show you how to merge everything together. All right, so let's do that really quickly. Let's add subdivision. So sorry, that's subdivide. Go to edit mode, subdivide, and this is good. I will go to one here. So I'm just going to do like a quick form of this body here. And then the same thing here. And now what I want to do is I want to delete all the vertices on the left side, and I want to delete that. And I'm going to the modifier, and I'm going to choose mirror. And as you can see, it's mirror exactly on the z-axis here. And just so let's I'm gonna turn it off for now, so I just know that the mirror is there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edge mode and double click on it, and then I'm going to press G twice to move the edges along. I'm not sure how to explain it. Basically, like if you press G once, it moves the edges. You can move it forward, backward, upward. You can move in 3-dimensional. But if you press G twice, it will move along this between these 2 points of this side here. So if I press G twice, right, that's all I can move. I can't move anywhere to the front or backward. So I just to make it consistent. So I don't really want to I guess what to call it again. You don't want to move it too much between the 2 points. Edges. Now, okay, next we're going to second vertex, and we're just gonna eyeball it here. And don't worry about it this much. Try just to get a rough idea of where things are situated, right? Okay. Mm. All right. Okay. So this is the neck here. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is good for now to start with. And then as we work along, we will add more and more, what do you call it again? Edges and more poly. So in this case here, I want to add more sideway here just to make it, and then I want to add subdivide this too, maybe add a couple more. All right, and then I'll subdivide this side here as well. Okay, now that's not bad. That's actually pretty, that's a good start. And then if you're wondering like, well, that's not really, let's bring this, let's just bring this to the front. Let's see. There you go. But I go to in front. So this object always in front of the sculpt. Okay. So you'll say like, well, that's kind of blocky. You don't really want to. You don't have any that smoothness of the sculpt. Well, don't worry. That's where the modifier go, and we'll go to subdivision service, and we'll go to, let's say, 2. That's already smooth enough. That's smoother. If we turn on the mirror, hey, that's look not bad, right? So now what we need to do is we want to use the subdivision modifier here as a base of how it looks like. So that means we need to bring all this at the bottom here, the vertices, we're going to want to bring it down. There you go. And then we want to bring this one closer so it has that shape that we needed for the shape of the body. So let's continue on, and we'll move this to the x-axis. All right, so that's not bad. And like, again, and we'll move and try to get the subdivisions look, because that will be our final look, the subdivisions service look. And we want to use that as a guide to get the final look of our model, of our low poly model. So that's pretty good. Not going to add more on that. So we'll continue on. We'll add, we'll go to outside. We go to object mode and go outside, and we'll create a new object, another cube, right? And just like turn this and bring it down, and then scale it. Okay, and we'll scale it. Let's let's scale it in axis, I believe. Yes. And that is good. Let's make sure that is where we want it to be, the arm is. And then we go to edit mode. Let's try to change that. Okay. And then again, we'll add subdivisions in here just to, so we can, and we'll add subdivision on the side here, just one. We don't need too many. Again, you want to conserve how many subdivisions of when you're doing topology your character, because the more complicated it is, the when you start like really complicated, like a lot of subdivisions already started, it's tend to be very confusing. So you don't really want that. Um, you don't want to get too confusing at the very beginning. You want to have some control on how you going to retopology your model. So again, we're going to press G twice, move this in the middle. The same thing here. Press G twice. Here. So this is just to get some kind of a what do you call it again? Some kind of a curve scale. Perfect. All right. So what I want to do is I want to delete this faces in the inside of the arm because we don't need that. Delete faces. That's empty. Then we can actually do the combining of the two object here between these two. Right. Right. So again, I want to turn off the subdivision just so we can know where we are. Okay. So now I'm not going to completely fully retopology the whole body right away. I mean, in this course, in this workshop, because like it's essentially it's going to be the same system for the leg as well. You want to go to the object mode, and then you want to create another cube, right? And then you want to make it as close as possible to the look of the legs, right? In a very low topology, in a low topology kind of look. So essentially, it's the same thing. Once you've done the leg, this is the next important steps that I want to start to show you, because of the short amount of time that we have for today. It's only like an hour, because retopology can be very a bit complicated once you get into it. But the basic is the same thing. Like what I just said, it's just combining different objects into one single object, right? So let's move this to the front again. All right. So now the next thing I want you to show you is that I want to combine these two separate objects here into one object, right? So let me do one thing first here. Let me bring this scale X. Bring it, scale it, scale X, scale it. All right. So next I want to do is I want to combine these two objects into one, right? And so I want to select the first object that I want to combine to the main one. So I want to select this arm here, and I want to select this um, body second. So select the arm, select the body, next. And then what I want to do is I'm going to modifier, and then I'm going to add uh, a Boolean modifier. Now, in this Boolean modifier, I want to select the union. So you will unite the two objects into one. And then I want to select this. Now, this is what naming your object is a very important thing. So let me just do that first. It's main body. So I know what I'm going, and this is right arm. Okay, so if I'm not okay, I think I got the order wrong. I think you have to select your body first, and then your arm, and then add Boolean, and then union, and you want to have the main body. Crap. I have two main body here. Okay, so main body 2. Okay, so I get that, and then we'll go back and select the main body 2. Right, as you can see, it's there's some kind of a connections here. If you don't see it, you're probably not going to be able to see it here. That's okay. So let's go here, and then we'll just click apply. Huh. Right, that's some technical difficulty. Sorry about that. So let me just so a visual transform to geometry. So just remove this. Now apply the mirror. Click in here. Add modifier, Boolean, unions. Okay, and then you want to apply it. There you go. Okay, so let me go back there a little bit here. Sorry for the confusion. The order has always been very confusing sometimes for me. But the main thing is you want to click the first object that you want to combine to the main body. So for this one, it's the right arm. You want to click the right arm, and then you want to click the body next. And then you want to add modifier, and then you want to click Boolean, union, and then select the object that you want to connect it to. It's right arm, and then we want to apply it. There you go. So now it will create the main body here. You have the arm attached to it, right? And then this is the other arm that is not attached. But this is the old arm, so we don't really need that anymore, right? So we can just disable it, turn it off, and voila. So that's connected, the two objects. And then from here on, you want to do, this is the tedious part of this whole process, is to clean up your topology here once you connected both both object into one, right? So that's why you don't want to have too many what do you call it again? Too many vertices or too many polygons, too many poly counts at the beginning, or like too many edges or faces in your object. You want to make it as simple as possible, because once you need to clean that once you get everything connected together. So that's one way of retopology your model. And another way to doing it, and some people like doing this for if they want to retopology the head, which is a more complicated. Okay, so that I'm going to turn this off, right? Another way of retopology the model is to do it faces by faces. So first thing we want to do is to create a new plane. Okay, and then just resize that. I cannot see that. Not sure where my plane is. Sorry, that's the thing about 3D is or like any program. Sometimes when you have something that works and for some reason it doesn't work right now. Okay, so I'm in edit mode, which is why we cannot add anything. All right, now we're in object mode. We go to mesh, go to plane. Voila, that's a plane there. Rotate 90 degrees. Actually, like I want to rotate it X in 90 degrees. All right, so I want to bring this plane in front of the body for now. You can't really see it, but it's up there. It's in the front there. Okay. So again, I want to put it in the front of everything else. And next thing I want to do is go to the very top here. You got a snap. This is a snap during transform. So you can click on the snap, and then you go to the right of the snap. You got the option, and you want to click on the face, and it closes. Right? What it does is it is basically snapping this object or plane into the closest sculpted model that you have, which is this body here, right? So, and from here, we want, if you go to, let's say, to the edit mode, and then you go to and want to move your vertex, it automatically snap to the body there, right? As you can see is it's just snapped to the body, right? To the surface of the sculpt. So the next thing you want to do is you just add, you just extrude, right? You just extrude from your plane to extrude again, and this will automatically continue following the sculpt of the body. So you want to extrude the same thing here, and then you want to extrude again. So essentially just adding you're just adding plane and extruding it, and then make it kind of like a circle around your body or your face in order to have the topology that you are trying to get. Now, the reason why a lot of people are using this method to read topology their head, the character head, the head, that's because you have a lot more control on how you direct your faces, right? So with this, you can just do it one by one, and then you are you can just connect each once you got the basic of the line, how the contour of your face, the contour of your body is like, that's where, because like in the mouth here, you have the contour of your cheek and the contour of your mouth. Those are like, there's a line that you the more you learn how to read topology, that's where you understand where the line to do the contour using this type of read topology style. And the previous style that I did was great for a less complicated object like the body. Like, so you can just block it really quickly with a big cube, and then just like subdivide the cube and then move the vertex to closer to where your what do you call it again? The shape of the body. But for your face, your face, or for the head, for anything else like your ears, eyes, there's a lot of creases, there's a lot of contour around your face compared to any part of your body. So that's why this way of doing read topology is better to do it if you're doing the head, but again is a lot more demanding compared to like doing everything compared to the first method that I was doing. Okay, so now the reason why there's a whole sections of how to do read topology that you can look at online, or using there's a lot of like Blender in the Blender website as well. There's tutorials, and YouTube also has a lot of tutorial about read topology. I'm not going to go into detail on this read topology. I'm just showing you right now just the two basic way of how I do read topology my sculpting. And again, like if you do have any questions about read topology, please free to contact me, or please continue on, or look it up online and see if there's a whole tutorial just for read topology, which is a whole sections on its own. Okay, so now let's delete that. So let me open the one that I already did, my main body here. Okay, let me just open recent. Okay, so this is the one that I did read topology, the sculpt. So as you can see, it's still pretty. It's pretty still. You can see like the topology is very small compared to the sculpt, right? And now what I want to do is I'm going to apply all this modifier beside except the subdivision. So I'm going to apply, let's just make sure that we got everything's right. So line. Okay. So that's okay. All right, let's apply this. Apply and shrink wrap. That's one thing I forgot. I'll try to shrink wrap is. Let me just show you what I mean about shrink wrap. Let's open very interesting. Just so let's say you have two objects. Sorry, mesh UV sphere. Okay, so let's say you have subdivide this maybe. Okay, so you have two objects. One is a cube, and the other one is the sphere. So shrink wrap is basically it's wrapping an object to another object of your choice. So in this case, I want to shrink wrap. I want to have this cube wrapping around the sphere. So that's the modifier of the shrink wrap is here. And then I want to target this sphere. As you can see, my object, my cube, is shrink wrap around the objects that I choose, which is the sphere. So that's essentially another method that I forgot to use on the previous read topology, because what I did is I just remember how I created like a boxy kind of look, have the look of the sculpt. But if I want to have that object completely wrap my sculpt, so I just added that modifier shrink wrap in order to have my in order to add it it's kind of like like when you shrink wrap like a food or like a plate, right? Like if kind of it's basically it's wrapping your objects around the sculpt that you created. So that's another modifier that I forgot to add it for you guys. All right, so the next thing I want to do is, now that we have this now that I have the modifier of apply and we have this body, what we want to do is we want to paint it, right? If you remember on the previous workshop, I have teach you how to do the texture paint, and that's what we're going to do here. So to refresh your mind, before we go to texture paint, we need to, let's go just to the body. Before we texture paint, we need to unwrap and then add the material to our object, right? So in this case here, we want to first unwrap our model. If you click U, Smart UV project, and that's the angle limit's fine. Now this is the island margin here. So the island margin is basically it will give you a little bit of a distance between the two skins in your editing box here, right? So let me show you what it means. So like right now I'm gonna put it into 0. And then I'm just gonna do a quick unwrap there. As you can see, oh, next thing I want to do. One thing I forgot to do is you have to check your normal first. Normal. So normal is because of your object is consisted of different faces, like face. Like this is like the face here, right? Some face once you when you were doing the uh, oh, when for whatever reason when you're actually like doing the modeling like a degree topology it's actually flipped, right? So the inside of the face is actually like is flipped, and so you see the inside of the face on the outside, and that can cause problem. So that's why you have to make sure that the proper uh, face is looking where it's looking outside, right? So you have to. That's where you need to do. So first thing I want to do is I'm just gonna add that. Connected. All right. So I'm gonna select all. I'm gonna go to mesh, and then normals. I'm gonna make sure the normals is not flip. So I'm gonna have more flip. As you won't be able to see it, but you can see there like a little bit here. That means my normal there is not proper. Okay, so that's good. That's the normal. Then I'm going to Smart UV project. And as you can see, like it's really connected pretty close here between these two unwrap. So again, if we added the island margin, let's say we added to 0.5, 0.1, you can see the distance between the two is actually added, and that's really good if you want to add some textures here, so it can bleed out without actually affecting your model. Just so this is good. I'm just want to make sure that my so, okay, I think I make this is another things that we need to check is that sorry, not sure if you can hear that, but that's my son. Okay, and we can delete that vertices and make sure that this is yeah. All right, so that's not the best. So let me move this, remove the soft edges. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so scale X. Hey. All right, so let's add modifier again. Let's add the mirror modifier. And that's another thing that I need to is to apply all transforms. So that means everything here becomes 0. And I'm going to mirror this. And then I'm going to make clipping and make sure the clipping's 0.5. So just scale X 0. And then make sure the clipping goes. Mirror object body scope. Okay, this is okay. Okay, so let's bring this up. Maybe that's the reason why. Yeah, apply. Oh boy. Let's go back again. Let's open the mirror. Make sure that what I want to do is like, I just want to make sure that the clipping actually works really well. Okay, there you go. Not sure why it doesn't work before. That's one of this weird thing. So now it's smooth in the middle, and we can just apply this. Perfect. Now we got the body of the bunny ready. So again, we are going to unwrap this Smart UV project in 1.1. All right, that's great. Now everything looks nicer here. Nothing connected. Now we can go and do texture painting. So we'll go do texture paint. If you if you go on the top left here, you can click the object mode, edit modes, and then you go to texture paint, right? So now it looks like really weird purple-ish. So what we need to do, once we unwrap our model, we want to go to the UV editing, and then if you go to the left here, there's a create new image. You want to press that, and you want to name it to, let's say, bunny unwrap 1. And then the width and the height, you can, it's the default is 1024 pixels. So like if you're working with a 5K resolutions, then you want to bring it up to like the 5K, 4K resolutions. 2K. So this is the you have to just change this upper like 2000 by 2000 or 3000 by 3000 pixel. But for these purposes, we can just 1024 is okay. So that's done. So you got the new UV unwrap there. And now next is we have to do what we want to do is go to shader editor. Right. So go to the property here and then add new material. This new materials, we want to call it bunny body. The body. So, and then great. And then in this shader object window, we want to open and then adding the image texture, and I want to connect the color to the base color, and we want to use the bunny unwrap as the color. And as you can see, it's all black. It started black, so that's okay. We go to the active tool, and then on texture paint on your left side here, there is a bunch of like tools here that you can use. Let's go to fill, and then let's go to spit up this color here, and then you can fill it. There you go, voila. So as you can see, all your unwrap UV colors to that whatever to the blue, the light blue color that you choose. Maybe I'm gonna make it this color more. Yeah. And next thing, before I forget, the color palette is very important. You want to add new bunny main color palette. So this is the main color here, and I'll add it middle. So if we go outside, now I want to have a little bit of white, and then I'm going to the brush. Oh, that's not really okay. So let's have a bit of white. Yeah. Reduce the brush size. And just add paint on that. Paint, view, mix, strengths, the bunny unwraps, volume sense. It is one of those things that I'm not sure what happened. Again, like there's a lot of today that I'm not sure what happened. This the smear draw fill. Yeah, the draw texture paint. New arts. So let's change it to color and more color palette bunny and wrap. Why are you not coloring? But you can fill it. And fill the color. But they're not allowing you to use the brush. I'm really sorry, but I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. I will see if I can figure that out for our next workshop. I apologize. I'm not sure what happens. Like it was just working before. The texture paints, you get the main body, object mode, go out, texture paints. Yeah, I'll try to figure this out for next workshop and see if I can give you an answer to this. But I honestly stumped myself because I'm not sure what happened. You can fill it, but you can't use the brush. Maybe I have to restart Blender for whatever reason. Anyway, just this is it for today. I'm sorry for such so many things happening for this workshop, but yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please send me an email, and we'll continue on next Blender workshop. Thank you for joining me today.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Leon. That
Leon.
was fantastic. I know. Yeah, it's a good question. We can answer. We have 2 more parts, so that's the good news. We can any kind of technical things. That's the fun thing. We can share what your learnings are after with the reboot and stuff, and how that works. So that's good. But yeah, so if we are going to move over, we're going to end here, and then we'll move over to our Google Meet link. So if you've signed up for that, a chance to talk to Leon. It's going to happen right after this. So we'll sign off here, and then be sure to continue with us for parts 4 and 5. So that's May and June, and then we'll have a final meeting to present our final animation. That's the goal. So yeah, thanks again, Leon. A fantastic session. I just want to thank all our partners, Canada Council for the Arts, our library partners, Blue Mountains Public Library, Collingwood Public Library, and the Wasaga Beach Library. So we'll see you soon. Take care.